In for Lou. You know, Des Moines keeps getting more and more accolades nationally. I mean, we've got music, we've got technology, jobs, housing, standard of living, and food. Our restaurants are our reputation for restaurants and great food keep moving up and up and up. And someone who knows a lot about that is Sheree Clark with Fork in the Road, and you brought some great stuff in here today.
I did. I know a thing or two.
Should we reset? Because we don't always talk about what your gig is.
Right.
You know, what are you all about?
Well, I'm a health coach, and
yes.
so I help people to become more healthy primarily through the nutrition door. But really, health has to do with everything in life. It's how you view life and whether you're happy in your relationships and in your work. And are you guys happy in your work?
Yes.
I like the job. It could start later, but otherwise it's yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I have to say, since we've met you, Sheree, I personally have met more people that incorporate raw or eat raw on a regular basis. Like, I really didn't hear of it much. You know, you might have read an article or seen something on TV, but until I met you, you hear it more and more. So I think people are really grasping upon this idea. And you say it's all for your health and your life?
It is, and the thing about it is, Jackie, is that the best thing about eating food is to eat it in its least processed form. So whether that's raw or not raw, and remember, I've chosen to be a raw vegan,
right.
but I don't push that on anybody, as we know. So the least processed, so the better the food you eat is the stuff that hasn't had a lot of things done to it.
Right, which makes sense. When you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. And of course, you have a recipe of the week every week, obviously,
yes.
but you also are on our program on KCWY to kind of explain how those recipes work and other great things that go along with having a healthy lifestyle.
Exactly, yep. So, and we've got something to look at today, because one of the things I want to talk about is a lot of times people talk about healthy food and they think, I'm going to be eating so many salads, I'm going to be hungry all the time, I'm going to be deprived.
I was worried about that when you started working with me.
Right, exactly. And the thing about it is, as you know, Jason, is that when we eat something of substance, it makes us feel, it's a satiety factor. That satiety means satisfaction. So today what I've done is I've made you some pate, and we've stuffed some peppers with it. And the recipe is very, very simple and easy. The main ingredient is sunflower seeds.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like meat, doesn't it?
So I was raised by wolves in a barn. What does pate entail?
A pate would be anything that's been homogenized, incorporated. So we take all of the ingredients. That's the nice thing about this recipe too, is simple ingredients, easy to source. You throw them in the food processor, you push the on button, and it's done.
Okay.
And
Did you
that's
try it?
Take a bite.
Now I know you're sitting at home thinking, oh, here's this crazy lady bringing on her vegetable stuff again. Everything Sheree has brought on this show, everything has been good.
Everything has flavor.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, and that's the thing. You don't have to have these super highly processed things. We've gotten a habit of eating it, and I think it's an addiction.
That is awesome.
Isn't that great?
It's so good.
I think that processed foods really hide the real flavors that are there.
They do. And the processed foods have the nutrition stripped out of them. So we saw the recipe. We know that we've got sunflower seeds and some other really good healthy ingredients, like, for example, just fresh cilantro. That adds flavor to it. The other ingredients I brought along, so you could kind of dissect it. This is miso. And people ask me a lot, what is miso? Miso is a fermented, usually soybean paste. It can be made out of other things, and it's primarily for flavor. It's got a salty taste to it.
Wow,
Isn't
that's
that
like
cool?
a tidal wave of flavor.
Exactly.
Really?
And so you just put a tablespoon into the dish.
Does it come like this?
Whoa, that's
Yes, it comes
awesome.
like that. It's in the refrigerated section of the store.
Where would you find this?
The health food stores, but also even now the main supermarket chains carry it. So it's, again, refrigerated is the best.
Get ready.
This smells like something that I'd have like in Chinese food.
Just get ready.
That's exactly right.
It's explosion.
That's awesome.
Because that
Isn't
smells
that
like a
good?
Chinese
I've
restaurant.
never had that before.
And here's what you can do. Here's a little diet secret. We weren't going to talk about this today, but I got a tip for you.
Man, that's great.
If you're really hungry and it's almost time for dinner and you really want to spoil your dinner, but you know you shouldn't, if you take a tablespoon of that, put it in hot water and sip it, it's satisfying and it will tide you over until dinner time. Isn't that great?
That's really
People
good.
that manufacture foods these days are not in the business of worrying about our health. They're in the business of making a profit. Nothing wrong with that. But we have to know what their intentions are.
That's right.
Foods like this fill us. They really do fill us. Foods that we typically are addicted to they don't. They satisfy us short term, but then you get this sudden urge to eat again.
Yes, and it's an addiction. You're absolutely right. And one of the reasons why it tastes good is that we use spices like Mexican seasoning and in the right proportions, in the right amounts. There's no extra fat in here. The fat comes from the sunflower seeds. So there's one other thing about this recipe. It's a pate. I stuffed it into little mini peppers. That's a good thing.
Right.
But it's versatile because I also can take it and make it into meatballs. So last night when I made this up for you before I went to bed, I formed some little meatballs and I put them in the dehydrator for 2 hours. I set on the timer so it went off while I slept. I got up, brought them to you, and there you go.
And you use a dehydrator because in the lifestyle you've chosen, you don't want to heat things up too much. Like, what is it, 110, 150?
Usually 105 is the area I stay around. You could probably warm this in the oven. It's not necessary. I just did it basically to seal it off. I could have even left them just raw without dehydrating them. That would be good dipped in guacamole or in a salsa, or you could even do like I have a recipe for a vegan queso dip that would be good with. So versatile.
For me, I eat too much processed food because it's convenience, but every recipe you've brought on here is very simple and easy to do, and it's meant to be that way.
Oh, man.
Yep.
And of course, if people want to learn more about this, they can watch here on Sundays with Fork in the Road on KCWI.
Exactly. And they can go to my website, fork-road.com. I've got free recipes, and there's videos of me showing how to do different things. It's all about getting healthy and about changing the paradigm. It doesn't have to be hard.
Now, since I started with you, one of the fun times in my house is I went out and got a juicer.
Yes.
And my kids love that thing. It's like you fire that up and they're like, oh yeah, gee, you throw all this stuff in it and you know, you mix it all together and they love it, and it's kind of a fun little family time. That's how lame my home life is, but they really dig it. I mean, it's fun and it's very satisfying stuff too.
It is, and
That's
it's a great
filling.
shot of nutrition.
And as you say, it's not difficult.
Right.
It doesn't have to be difficult. You know, some of these diets, they're asking for ingredients you've never heard of, but again, and here's for a guy like me, can you prepare a lot? I know you like to do it initially, but keep it fresh. But are there things you can prepare that can last you a few days? You can pull out of the refrigerator, so you can do it once and it'll last you for a while.
Great question, Steve. This pate I made extra. I've got it in the refrigerator. It'll be around for about 5 days, so I can stuff it into other things, put it into mushroom caps. I could crumble it over the top of a salad. The meatballs I could actually freeze and then just take out, and you don't have to do anything. You just defrost them, and they'll defrost very quickly. So yeah, make in advance. It's really easy. But the other thing is, remember, here's how I made the ingredient. Here's how I made the recipe. Put the ingredients in the food processor, push on.
It's that simple. Simple things you can do to incorporate a more healthy lifestyle in very simple but delicious, great ways. Thank you, Sheree Clark, so much for coming on
You're
this
welcome.
morning.
Glad to be here.
Watch her right here on KCWI with Fork in the Road, Sundays at 11 a.m. We'll be right back. So much more coming up in this hour. You don't want to go anywhere.